You know, I did an audio video not that long ago where I questioned whether or not the Bella twins feud would lead to Daniel Bryan, John Cena 2. Now, I'm not saying it's going to lead to it, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But you know, you got a lot of people now complaining, kind of talking about how they feel the Bella twin feud is not really doing, not really doing it for them, if you know what I mean. Basically they feel that even though it has potential, the way it's being portrayed is not being done, is not very good. It's coming off as very bad. And some of the lines that someone, let's say like Nikki Bella, gets fed or been told to say or whatever, just doesn't sound right. And I'm not saying that the Bellas are the best actresses in the world. I'm not saying they're the best actresses in the world. That's an obvious, that's obviously noticed. It's obviously noticed by a lot of people. I think it's more along the lines that when you think about this Bella twin feud, or should I say Bella twins Stephanie storyline feud, that I don't think it takes a genius, if you will, to kind of realize that this is just a temporary holding pattern we're in. This is a temporary holding pattern we're in until Daniel Bryan comes back. Now, according to some sources, WWE is hoping Daniel can at least be back by Survivor Series, if not a little after. Now, if I'm WWE, I don't want to rush one of my top guys back so soon from just having an injury, from just recovering from an injury. But if he is penciled in for Survivor Series, that makes a lot of sense because, when you think about Survivor Series and you have storylines like this happening, essentially, whoa, almost lost my thing there. Essentially, Survivor Series is meant to bring a lot of major feuds and storylines to an end if it all culminates in a traditional Survivor Series match. It does that. Just like WrestleMania sometimes is meant to bring a lot of feuds and rivalries to an end, Survivor Series does it with just one match sometimes. And if that is the case with this whole Bella twins Stephanie McMahon situation, then all we have to do is just be patient. I know some of us may not like the fact that the Bellas are being shoved down our throats, that the acting, as some people like Richard Gray has put it, and Solomonster has said, I'm sure Solomonster would agree with this, and so would Jeff Siegel. A lot of these people have said it's been atrocious, but to me, it's more along the lines that it's just right now a holding pattern. It's just a holding pattern that we're in until Daniel Bryan comes back. Then, when Daniel Bryan comes back, the focus will go away from the Bella twin Stephanie situation and go back to what it was originally about, Daniel Bryan against the Authority, and mostly Daniel Bryan against Triple H. Triple H and Stephanie, that is. And we might even get a mixed tag. If you want Daniel to be back at Survivor Series, the best way you can be able to protect Daniel is to put him in a tag match of some kind. Either it's a Survivor Series match or maybe a mixed tag. Whatever the case is, you have to put Daniel into that kind of a situation to protect him till he's fully ready to go on his own. So my thing is, you put Daniel Bryan in a mixed tag, possibly a Survivor Series, with him and Brie against Stephanie and Triple H. Or you put him in the Survivor Series elimination match where you have one team representing the WWE against the Authority. And of course, you got to have a stipulation for any one of those matches, right? And the stipulation, obviously, I think they're heading towards, and I think anybody else would agree with this, is the Authority eventually has to be knocked down the Authority basically has to be knocked down so far that they lose their power. They lose basically everything. They lose control, they lose the power, they lose it. They lose it to a point, and I'm sorry, there was a garbage truck outside, but they lose it to a point that they could still be, let's say storyline perspective, they could still be COO and principal owner, but anytime they show up on Raw or SmackDown, and who is ever placed in charge of both shows as general manager, then Triple H and Stephanie, if they lose the power, but yet they're still COO and principal owner, will only be treated like any other superstar and diva because they will no longer have control over those shows or anybody on those shows. That's one way they could go, down the line, but that's only if Daniel Bryan comes back by Survivor Series. Which again brings me back to why we're in this situation with the Bellas. I know I go a little off topic there, but it was sort of in topic. But again, it brings me back to the situation we have with the Bellas. You see, this feud between the Bella Twins, and mostly the Bella Twins Stephanie feud, Brie Bella Stephanie feud that is mostly a holding pattern until Daniel Bryan comes back from his injury. Then it will shift back from this to Daniel Bryan and against the Authority, and maybe even Daniel Bryan and Brie against the Authority. I mean, when you think about it, that's exactly the direction they're heading in right now. That's exactly the direction they're heading in right now, and I don't think that's not too obvious to anybody. I mean, why would you suddenly, when Daniel Bryan gets injured, why would you want to suddenly shift from Daniel Bryan to his wife? Huh? Hold on for a sec. I mean, again, why would you want to suddenly shift from Daniel Bryan to his wife? It doesn't make sense, right? Well, from a storyline perspective, it does, but in a sense, why is she suddenly getting the spotlight? Why is Brie getting the spotlight? Again, it's all about a holding pattern. See, if Daniel wasn't injured, if Daniel hadn't gotten injured, we wouldn't be going through this right now. Maybe we would, but not to this point. You get what I'm saying? I don't think the Bella Twins, enough feud, even if it was going to happen, had Daniel not been injured, even if Daniel was still able to compete and this feud still happened, I don't think it would have been as focused on as much as it is now. I don't think Stephanie McMahon would be involved so much as she is right now. But here's why. Here's why. It's all basically a holding pattern for them, I should say. Excuse me, I'm still waking up a little bit. I know I've been awake for about, and I know I've been awake for about an hour and a half. You think an hour and an hour and 20-something minutes. You think I wouldn't be tired, but I still am. I still got a lot on my mind. But anyway, the fact is, this is a holding pattern for the WWE for them until Daniel gets back, and that's a fact. I think anybody watching this knows that's a fact. So, but that is why the Bella Twins Stephanie McMahon situation is getting so much attention, getting so much of the spotlight. It's basically a holding pattern until Daniel Bryan comes back from injury, and that's the truth. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.